The company Newsmax is up over 2,000% over the past 2 days, and the stock itself has run from $10 all the way up to over $280 per share. The stock is turning into the next GameStop, and the stock has the potential to run up to $500 plus, according to some analysts. So with that being said, is it too late to buy in, or are we just getting started? Let's find out. So taking a quick look at the stock, you can see here that this morning we opened at $120 per share after a massive rally yesterday, opening at just $10 per share. Today we ran from that 120 price point all the way up to $287 at all-time highs into after hours before pulling back a little bit closer to this $200 area. With that being said, that's over 700% increase yesterday and over a 2,000% gain just in the past 2 days. The company's market valuation is now over $20 billion. And with that being said, what is actually happening here? Well, let's break it down. First things first is limited share availability. Basically, Newsmax mini IPO'd, which meant they only had a sale of 7.5 million shares. This created a constrained supply that, with a high demand and a lot of people wanting it, caused the stock to run up very, very fast. And on top of that, retail investors are all over this thing. The stock has become a trending topic among retail investors, particularly those on StockTwits and Wall Street Bets, and just individual traders that are interested in getting in on the hype for some quick money. And lastly is the political climate. The growing popularity of the conservative news outlet, especially due to President Trump's return to the White House in 2024, has influenced Newsmax to not only do very, very well in the realm of the news network, but the way that they just IPO'd, you can tell that the company is doing very, very well and it has a lot of strong and positive publicity. And taking a look at the stock here, you can see that after yesterday's rally, we continued to move higher today. We pumped up in the morning from about $120 per share to $190 within 20 minutes. You're talking about a stock that was yesterday $10, and now we're seeing $20, $30, $40 moves within 5 to 10 minutes of time. So with that being said, it's a very, very risky play, but there's a lot of money to be made here. The way that this stock is trading is how we saw GameStop and AMC trade. And because of that, this is a prime opportunity to potentially get in tomorrow at open, depending on when you're looking to trade this thing, and get in on the fun, because there's a lot of money to be made. This morning, if you just bought it at $120 and let it ride throughout the whole entire day, you would have been up over $100 per share on a stock that was just $10 yesterday. Now, with that being said, there are some other things we got to go through here, including what price is the right price point to buy at. Now, taking a look at the stock itself, if we kind of pull back here, you can see that we've had this strong upward momentum following this blue SMA line. And with that being said, you have to be able to say $287 is our highest price point. So we mark that as an area up here as our resistance area. If it breaks through 287, watch this at $300 plus, no questions asked. Now, we pull this back down to this $200 area. It seems as if $200 is an interesting area where we've been resisting, but then also holding as support when we broke above. And they could explain that right here, where we saw the resistance here, where we bounced down, got rejected, but then we pushed through, but then we fell back down below that point, and then we broke back above, and then we held above $200 here into after hours and cleanly ended at around $202. But with that being said, $200 is going to be an interesting price point. If we can hold above it, I think that we start to see some more momentum back to the upside. You see this run back up to this 230 area. That's another area you got to watch for. A break above 230 moves us back up to 250, and then a break above 250 takes this thing to potentially 280 and even 290, $300 plus. On the flip side, though, you gotta be able to look at the downside of this thing, because there was a lot of downward pressure. The odds that it doesn't hold $200 and it falls below, well, then you start to see this thing back into the 180s. And with this moving back to the 180s, you could see this happening within 20 to 30 minutes before open happens, and see what happens during open. Now, if at open it's below $200, watch it try to get above 200. But if not, we could see this thing fall below 200, 180, potentially even back to 150, 140. I mean, this is a very, very overextended stock that has a lot of momentum and hype built into it right now, but if it doesn't continue to hold up, then it can completely fall the other way. And with that being said, it does have a limited share supply. Retail investors are all over this, pushing this higher. With the political climate, financial performance, and media expansion, there's a lot of explaining factors as to why this is doing so well right now in the short term. But anytime a stock IPOs, there's always a short-term jump followed by a long-term decline. Now, the stock itself may be a good investment after it cools off a little bit. So for you those looking into longer-term investing, I definitely think it's something worth looking into after the stock settles down. But until then, this just IPO'd, so there's a lot of hype and a lot of excitement already put into this right now in the short term, which is causing this short-term squeeze and pushing the stock higher at a price point that, to be completely honest, is probably not where it's going to be in a couple weeks from now. Now, with that being said, let's make some money and let's make some trades off these things, because there are analysts out there saying right now that this could be $400 to $500. We saw GameStop in the way that it squeezed. We saw AMC. We saw a lot of these meme stocks, and Newsmax, ticker symbol NMAX, is another name that can potentially squeeze higher, but we gotta stay above $200. And if it does, let's watch the break at 230. 230, we bring it back up to 260, 250 area, and then from there, if we could break above 287, our all-time high price point right now, this is going to be going to $300 plus, and you might see that $400 or $500 range very, very soon. So with that being said, guys, take this with a grain of salt and make sure to do your own due diligence and research before jumping into any investment, but especially this one, because this is a very, very risky investment right now, being up over 2,000%, recently IPO'd. It's a short squeeze name that you're going to make quick money off of if you play this correct, but you can also lose quick money as well. And on top of that, we also have WTF Walton Financial also IPO'd today. So just a quick little blurb on this one. This is a international financial company that you definitely should watch out for. The stock opened at $4 per share and has run all the way up to $28 per share into after hours. Another massive 400% jump on another short squeeze name. Same thing, these IPOs push stocks higher in the first couple days, so they're great for trading opportunities, but they're not good for long-term investing until these start to settle down. So with that being said, going back to Newsmax, I think it's a great opportunity to make some quick money on, and I definitely think that we could see crazy price points of $300 to $400, potentially even $500. So with that being said, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about the stock Newsmax, and specifically if you're going to be making trades, holding this off, and maybe going for a long-term investment later on. There's a lot of different ways you can play this, but right now, I think there's a lot of short-term money in the market being flooded into Newsmax, and with that being said, that this stock is my #1 stock to watch for this week, okay? So guys, let me know down in the comments down below what you think about the stock Newsmax. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time.